What up, folks? You are tuned into another episode of Listen in 3D. This is episode number 74. I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool.
It's your boy Ruthless267.
And together we're both Team 3D, the host of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and the albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. Like what you're seeing, like this video, share it around, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. If you want to help us out one step further after subscribing, click on that notification bell. That way you get access first when all our shorts and videos go live. We have a lot of content on the channel, and everything's looking good right now. We're back on streaming services, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. So if you don't want to watch us, rather listen to us instead, listen to us in the car or whatever, just hit us up on there. But YouTube, Instagram, they're definitely our home base for everything Listen in 3D. All right, so how you been, man? How you doing, Ruthless? Staying ruthless.
Yeah, all day. See, he's right here up on my hat.
All right. So this artist, I know. So this is an album you haven't had too much familiarity with, like some of the other albums we've done since you've come on the show. What were your impressions after listening to it? Just like in a few words.
Just it sounded like slick. It sounded like who we're gonna talk about. Like based on the well-known associated songs or singles that go with this artist,
Hmm.
it just when I finally heard the rest of the album, and surprised that these songs that I'm thinking of were not on this album.
Yeah.
It sounds like it correlates with this artist. It's he's got a sound definitely during this time.
All right, let's introduce this guy. He kind of needs no introduction, but he is hip hop royalty, if you ask me.
Yeah, he is. We got well, formerly known MC Ricky D. Now, no, he became known as Slick Rick, and the album is going to be his debut album, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. This album was released on November 1st, 1988, through Def Jam Records with distribution through Columbia. It is a certified platinum album here in the U.S. Peaked at number one on the R&B and hip hop album charts, and number 31 in the Billboard 200. And that's really good, I think, for being back in '88,
Yeah.
where hip hop was still like young, um, really, really young.
Hmm.
His singles include "A Teenage Love," uh, "Children's Story," and "Hey Young World." Each one of those singles has a video, and he doesn't have any guest appearances.
Yeah, and those are some of the better albums we do. Well, I mean, just it's always impressive. Like if you come across a MC or a group, it's like no guest appearances. That's always a kind of a great thing, especially to go platinum during that time. And 88, very monster year for hip hop. You got a lot coming out in '88. Probably one of the best years in hip hop, if you ask me. If I were to rank them by years, definitely top five for sure. In 1988, yes, a lot of monster stuff, and we'll get into that later with the recommendations that we have. Because I'm sure,
From
yeah,
from east to west, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like listening to what you're saying from
yeah,
east
yeah,
to west.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the recommendations is probably going. We'll probably be all over the place with recommendations. You probably have your own set. I probably have my own set. I put mine in the outline, so I mean, and so for the most part, all right. So a little bit about Slick Rick. Let's see if I can pull up his page here. Yeah, yeah, just Slick Rick. Here we are. Richard Martin Lloyd Walters. That's his real name. Um, he is an English American, so he was born in the UK to Jamaican parents. To just cut to the cliff notes, he immigrated to the U.S. at like 11 or 12 years old, and he grew up in the Bronx area. Went to school there, and then at a school called the Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that. That's where he that's where he met Dana Dane, and he became close friends with Dana Dane, and they formed the Kango Crew. And then in 1984, he entered I guess a talent show, and that's where he met Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh got him to be a member of the Get Fresh crew, and
Yeah.
pretty much from there, the rest is history. The show, Lottie Dottie, all that good stuff. And
And you mentioned those singles, and when I was introducing them,
mm,
this is like an album that I didn't really like put in heavy rotation, but I
mm,
thought that those songs were on this album, at least
mm,
Lottie
mm,
Dottie.
no, no.
And I learned later that yeah, I learned later that Lottie Dottie is a B side
Yeah.
to the show, which was Dougie Fresh's group and the Get Fresh crew. And you
Mm,
mentioned that he was part of it, and um, he was actually at that time MC Ricky D.
yeah, yeah, yeah. At the time, that was when he was MC Ricky D. So,
Yeah.
a couple of interesting facts about Slick Rick. This is his debut album. He has a total of 4 studio albums altogether. Um, and then aside from that, just and I'm sure we'll get into it later throughout the show, but um, I think of all the hip hop artists, he's been interpolated or sampled at least 1,000 times.
Bro,
Probably the
you
most in history.
you ain't
Some
lying.
yeah, yeah. So some of the notable tracks, obviously Lottie Dottie from Snoop Dogg off his Doggy Style debut in '93, and then when I got introduced to him, and this song came around the same time, and I know what song you're thinking, Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It." So
Oh yeah, children's story
yeah, yeah.
music. Yep.
So that's 2 of my favorite samples, and then another one I'll shout out later on throughout the episode. But those are just 2 I kind of wanted to get off my chest right now. And then in terms of memories of Slick Rick, just I started listening to hip hop around 94, 95. So just like I said, I heard this song, and then you hear "This Is How We Do It." It's just like this is kind of the same song. And me being a 10, 11-year-old at the time, it's like I have no idea what sampling is. So
Montel rapped his like lyrics. He
yeah,
just he
yeah,
just
yeah,
changed it up to fit him.
yeah, yeah. Once I started paying more attention to the lyrics later on, it's just like, okay, okay, I see what he did there. And then just you're introduced to sampling all this stuff. So it's like, okay, yeah, Montel Jordan sampled Slick Rick. So,
You
but
and OG are gonna make some cash, selling
yeah,
media records, and we're making the dash.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That was tight.
yeah, so aside from that, Slick Rick, just he's always like whenever I've always heard his music, it's always been like a great story, and just many people deem him as probably the best storyteller in all of hip hop, or hip hop's greatest storyteller. If so, I mean, aside from that, like I said, I mean, I was only 4 years old when this album came out, or about to be 4. My birthday's around the time this album dropped, but I mean, but just yes, but just listening to him, and just like hearing him on stuff later on, especially like with that song with Outkast, just oh,
Slick Rick and Outkast is on this jam. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
great
yeah,
track. That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
great
It's
jam.
yeah, yeah. So it's, but I mean, and then in terms of just seeing him perform, I've seen him twice. I saw him at one of those K Day. I think it was not Fresh Fest. It was the other one. Crush Groove. I saw him at one of the Crush
Nice.
Grooves many years ago. He performed. He was pretty solid. He was by himself, and then I saw him perform with Dougie Fresh at, I guess, one of the last Rock the Bell shows before.
Get out of here. The
Yeah,
one in San Bernardino?
yeah. I saw
Yeah,
him there.
that's our song too. I was gonna mention it. We were there at that concert together, and we didn't
Yeah,
even know it.
yeah. It was the last year before they shut it down.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the
Okay.
year they had the hologram of ODB and
He's
Eazy-E.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there for
I
that.
was there that day. I watched them perform on that side stage over there, and yeah, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick went back and forth. It was dope. I have recordings of it on my
Oh, awesome. Yeah, me and my one of my good friends were there, and then I did not see the ODB. I opted to see Rakim instead.
Oh, it was hard. Me and my oldest son went. So he was more of like a newer generation guy. He was the guy that he was introducing me to Kendrick and Black Hippie at that time and
Okay.
J. Cole.
Mm.
And I'm over here wanting to watch 40, Too Short,
Yeah, I saw
Bone
40 and
Thugs and
Too
Harmony,
Short. Yeah, I saw Bone.
Common and everything.
I
And then
saw
like
Jurassic 5. I saw Tech
J5, man.
9.
I took a picture with
Yeah,
Chino XL, rest in peace.
yeah, I saw Dilated Peoples that day. Yeah, yeah, or that weekend. Yeah, it was real nice. It was a smooth
Yeah,
concert. Yeah,
rock the bells. That's funny that you mentioned that because I was
yeah,
about to get into that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
when I
So
last
that's
saw him
where I seen
before.
him. Yeah, that was where I last saw him. But and then the time before that was that Crush Groove concert. But yeah, that was just him by himself. He wasn't with Dougie Fresh that day.
That's
So
what's
those
up.
are the memories I have of Slick Rick. So I've seen him perform. Magnificent performer. Great. Comes out with the chains, everything, the patch over his eye, and just keeps it slick. Any memories you want to get into before we dip into this album?
Yeah, no, Slick Rick was I knew of his existence. I can't say that like he was a dude that I gravitated toward. I mean, you're talking I'm like 9, 10 years old. Like
Yeah.
really it's hardcore West Coast gangster rap NWA for me
Hmm.
and New Edition. Like Color Me Back. Actually, I should just say New Jack Swing. That's
New
like
Jack Swing. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
that's I'm gonna put New Jack Swing. So that era of my childhood, that's all that I was really into. But I mean, I remember hearing these things. I remember when we were kids, we
Hmm.
watched CB4, the movie with Chris Rock, and
Yeah.
the whole movie opens with the song "The Show" with Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, and I remember thinking that was pretty tight. Like it took you back to some like nursery rhyme kind of melodies, like that they use in that song, and then I thought it was cool when I learned what Lottie Dottie was
Hmm.
because of Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I didn't know that song Lottie Dottie at all until Doggy Style,
Hmm.
and then when he said, "I gotta say what's up to my homie Slick Rick," like
Yeah. Yeah. I
it,
mean,
it took me a while to start putting things together. You know what I mean?
well,
So I've heard it.
I think I had heard the original at some point, and just and then when I finally got the Doggy Style CD, he shouts out Slick Rick. I mean, it was on the radio, so but it's like you're listening to it on the radio. You don't get to listen to like the song from beginning to end most of the time, unless you're really paying attention. Like
Well, it was like contrary. It was backwards for me. And when I finally heard it on the radio, it Power 106 used to have like an old school show Sunday.
oh yeah,
Back in
Curtis,
those days,
Curtis Blow on the old school show.
School
Yeah, man.
Curtis Blow in the old school show. That's right. You know what's up then.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
And that's when I started like hearing it. But I had heard back in what '93 when Doggy Style dropped. I
Mhm.
heard his version first.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, well, I didn't
and
start listening to it much later, so I probably relatively heard both versions around the same time. So,
it, so yeah, that's my memories of Slick Rick. I And then like as I got into like 94, 95, 96, I got to really know who he was. And that by that point he was a staple. Like I knew who the guy was, knew
mm,
him for the eye patch and everything.
yeah,
And he'd still make some appearances with modern day artists at the time. And like you said, Outkast was one of
yeah,
them.
okay,
And he did a collab with Warren G. We talked about that one
yeah,
before. I saw him in
yeah,
the movie The Show. He
yeah.
was good. He was solid.
And also to his credit, just in case you guys are wondering, for any of you gamers out there, he is a playable character in the video game Def Jam Fight for New York and Def Jam Fight for New York to Take Over. Just putting it
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there.
that's
He is a
I had
character in that game. I only played that game like once. I played the first one a lot more. So
I saw the commercials. I never played it. Was Warren G a character? Because I
yeah,
know Dub C was.
yeah. Warren G was. I think he was in the second one. Dub C, I know was in both games. So
Yeah, because he was a relatively current Def Jam artist at
yeah,
that time when it dropped, and I know
yeah,
Warren G wasn't
yeah.
anymore.
Dub C was. So he was in the first one for sure.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm going to a gaming convention next month, so if I do see that game for cheap, I'll try to get it and bust it out on my PS2 and see who was in it because I never really deep
Hey,
dived that game. So
if they have it for cheap, give me a copy too, because I remember I've never played that game, and I want to
I
play it.
played the first one a lot more. I actually have the first one laying around somewhere, but
Okay.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
that was Ghetto Heisman era for
Yeah,
Pimp
yeah,
C.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember when he was on there, and they had I remember the stands he had, like with his jeans and white shirt. It was funny. So
Uh,
that's cool. Yeah, that's I didn't know that. I didn't know Slick Rick was a playable character. No, but he's a Def Jam icon, man.
yeah,
So
so yeah, it makes sense. All right, so going into this album, what do we think? Did you have any expectations? I mean, for me, I was just really expecting good storytelling. So, I mean, I'll
yeah,
put it at that.
any podcast, hip hop podcast you watch, and they talk
Mm,
about Slick Rick, they always dub him as like a masterful storyteller, and to it serves right. Like when you
yeah,
listen to it, like songs like the Children's Story, Mona Lisa,
yeah.
was it Hey Young World?
The young one.
It's they're all Indian Girl. They're all great story. They're all
Yeah,
stories that he puts himself in the situation,
yeah,
and he has a beginning, a middle, and how it ends is pretty dope.
yeah.
It's very
He's
dope.
yeah, he's definitely one of the best ever doing storytelling. Like actually, the best. And then,
Yeah,
um, yeah, so that would be me in terms of pre-listening thoughts. Like I said, when this album came out, I was only like a 3 4 years old, so like, yeah, not going too much there. But the
I'm
artwork,
8 years old in second grade, I think.
yeah, yeah. So the artwork, pretty nice. It looks like what New York City, him,
Yeah, in the
just like
background.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty solid. Definitely kind of like that. I don't know, maybe like a movie vibes, like not just like a music title, but like a movie vibes. Like this is gonna be like a real story. That's like the vibe I kind of get looking at an album cover like this.
I kind of get like and maybe I'm biased because
Mm,
it says the Great Adventures of, and it does have a movie vibe, and also thought like
yeah,
because of the way they wrote his name, Slick Rick,
yeah.
like a like
Oh, okay.
comic book style.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, definitely like it's gonna be a story. It's not like
Yeah,
yeah,
even
yeah,
where is like writing behind it where it has a story. Yeah,
yeah,
it's the
yeah.
Great Adventures,
The
so it's
Great
like
Adventures of Slick Rick.
many stories in every single one of them. I will say though, that I was like, I never noticed, and I was a little disappointed. I was like, dang, he wasn't rocking the eye patch yet.
Yeah.
He was not rocking the eye patch yet, dude. I
Mm.
was like, I had to look at it deep. I was like,
No,
son
yeah,
of a gun.
he didn't have it, and then I think one of the videos he didn't have it either. But yeah, just we'll get into that though.
Yeah,
Mm. So anyway, let's get
he
in.
did have he had the single chain in it, and
Yeah,
I know he had them gold teeth because he rapped about it in one of his songs.
yeah, yeah. He had the
Uh,
teeth, and he
Mona
did have
Lisa.
yeah. All right, so let's get into beats production. I thought it was very well produced album for 1988. I didn't really deep dive the producers on the album, but I would have to say my favorite beat, if I'm being perfectly honest, had to be it's a tie between Children's Story and The Ruler's Back. I really like those instruments in The Ruler's Back. That dun, dun, dun. I thought those were some pretty cool beats.
Ruler's back. That's it's almost borderline funny, corny to me at the same time. Like
Hmm.
the trumpet part that you're
Yeah,
talking
the
about, like
trumpet. Yeah, that's all I was singing.
it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I remember when I was listening to it, I was like, damn, where'd I hear this from? Sire, the ruler's back. Stop, 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 stop lying. I was like, who used that, bro? And it was Jay-Z and R. Kelly on the
Oh, oh,
Unfinished Business.
yeah, to go find that. Oh, damn.
Yeah, because I remember hearing that. Like, I was like, who used that? And it was the second album they did, the
Yeah.
Unfinished Business,
Uh-huh.
and it was called The Ruler's Back, kind of, and they used that intro. They took it straight from Slick Rick. That's why I was talking. Like, there's a gang of little mini
Yeah,
samples
just many like little samples just here and there, man.
they borrow from this album for sure.
Yeah, it was yeah, I mean, yeah, but Slick Red has to be paid with all the money he's made from people sampling and stuff over the years. So
So, Ruler Back and Children's Story are your top beats, you said?
yeah, yeah. Well, what do you got?
It's funny because and I get it. Like at that time, there was like a sound. Like a lot of the beats on here
Hmm.
are like repetitive with
Yeah,
the
yeah. It's that same drum pattern, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
like
It's the same drum pattern. I mean,
if I'm not explaining it well enough, think
mm,
of the song The Show,
yeah,
and you hear that in the background.
mm,
There's a lot of that.
yeah,
Like it's 60-70% in this album, dude.
mm,
It's like they make it work, and I'm
yeah.
sure at that time it was such a fresh sound.
It was fresh.
Yeah, you just ran it to the ground, bro. If you can get away with it, it's like so. But it's a distinct sound, and that's what I was talking about earlier. It's like when I think of that, I don't think of Dougie Fresh. I think of him.
Mm, okay.
Like that sound is Slick Rick to me. Like peak, like tentacle, like pinnacle. I mean, like like this. Like it's,
Mm,
but beats definitely children's story,
okay.
and I do like, and it's funny because they might end up being like my favorite songs too.
Mm,
Hey Young World,
hey, young world. Okay.
yeah, and then I want to say Let's Get Crazy was like a different sound. And when I finally got to like Let's Get Crazy, it switched up. It had
Mm,
like traditional hip hop, like boom bap, like
okay.
drums that you heard like on a Rakim song or a KRS song, and it was great to hear him rap over a flow like that. And I,
Yeah.
I want to say it's Let's Get Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was before Indian Girl,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
because Indian Girl went back to the that kind of stuff. I think so. So yeah, that was it. Those I gotta say are like my top ones.
All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Let's get into the album singles. I guess we can start with "Hey Young World." Seems like you really like that song, so I'll let you kick it off. What are your thoughts on "Hey Young World"?
I love Hey Young World. What I love about hip hop from at least an era when I grew up. Although many of our artists can be categorized as glorifying violence or
Mm,
drug use or anything like that. I mean, it's what they knew. It's what they came up with. Is what
yeah.
what was going to put them in the limelight. But they all had songs that were on the flip side
Mm,
of positiveness, consequences of your choices. Ice Cube was notorious for
yeah.
setting up a great stand of like, we did this, and then that bottom basically end up in jail or dead, right?
Yeah.
Um, Hey Young World is such a great his message to the youth
Yeah.
at that time, and it's very like it's heartwarming to me to hear something like that because these guys are incredibly influential at that time. They
Mm,
got a stage, platinum. You got kids listening to you, and although we already know these kind of things happen,
yeah.
to to uh, to lay out some kind of form of hope, and that I'm going through it with you too, and I've
Mm,
been through that environment. This is the kind of stuff that I kind of live by that got me through, and I think Hey Young World is a great song for kids. I recommend it to any young person that I come in contact with. We talk hip hop, like
mm.
you need to go check out Hey Young World by Slick Rick. So
Yeah, yeah, I definitely love the message in the song, and one of the things I like about Slick Rick's music is, it, and I should have said this earlier. He was ahead of his time, way
oh
ahead of
yeah,
his time. Just in terms of just what he was saying, not production wise, not so much, but I mean, in terms of what he was saying, he was way ahead of his time. And but yeah, definitely like the message, and I feel like a lot of songs on here kids can relate to today, and this is definitely one of them. So, if I were like you said, if I were to see like a young guy out there who wants to do like some hip hop research and find a great rapper, storyteller from the '80s, it's like, hey, just check the song out. Hey, Young World, good
yeah.
song, great message. You kind of can't go wrong with it, when it comes to the whole
No,
grand scheme of things.
and the cadence in it was like melodic.
Mm,
It was dope. I would say like in those kind of times when Def Jam was putting out
mm,
albums, a lot of them were very high in energy,
yeah,
in your face. Like what? LL Cool J's already got Radio Out, and um, Run DMC, the Beastie Boys. Like everybody's very high energetic and like
mm,
wild. Aggressive. Oh, Public Enemy. They
yeah,
were Def Jam artists, weren't they?
yeah, yeah. They were on Def Jam.
That's right. So
Beastie
this
Boys,
guy,
definitely, yeah. Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Public Enemy, yeah. All those guys were on.
Def
LL
Jam,
Cool
right?
J, yeah. Def Jam. That was the hip hop mecca label that everyone wanted to be on.
Yeah, and they were, and I don't know if you can agree, like those acts that we just listed, like very energetic,
Mhm,
like aggressive.
yeah.
And he comes in on a suave, smooth tip,
Hmm.
like calm, and he's not, but it connects.
Yeah.
It's like the diversity of that label at the time.
Hmm.
It was just a young man, like teenager, Cool J, veterans, global phenomenon acts, Run DMC, the white punk rock kids,
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, and then this guy, like just smooth, like
Hmm.
style. You know what I mean? It was and that British accent he had a little bit with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That really helped a lot too.
yeah. So when you just hear him like singing, "Hey, young world," like it's just cool. Like, and he has like the little melodic to him as I sing and I rap to you. Like he just it's just tight, man. That's a great song.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to Teenage Love.
A teenage
A
love.
Teenage Love. I didn't
That
hear it.
sounds
I
so
did.
80s.
Yeah, it sounds so 80s, and I think it would have sounded so 90s too. Like I wasn't. I mean, I didn't hear the song till much later after I was done with
Okay.
like middle school, high school. But this is kind of a song I wish I had heard when I was in middle school or high school. Just play this to a girl you like or whatever. I think that would have been pretty cool. But I do like the first verse. Hey, sport, here's a thought from the old school crew. A serious situation we all go through. It deals with your feelings. So hear what I say. It's like a die, but nothing seems to go your way. But one of the things, the fact that he says old school crew in '88, it's just like, oh, so was he the one that coined the term old school? I don't know. I could be wrong,
Maybe.
but I mean, he
I'd
was
have to
saying you'd have to
I'd
look
have
at.
to go back and listen to some Rum DMC tracks to see if they use it already too. So
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, yeah, yeah, the old school crew. But I mean, it's a nice, heartfelt love song. Kind of makes you wish you were listening to hip hop during that time. And like I said, I wish I'd heard it like a little later. Play it for some of the ladies I like, during that time. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, I don't think maybe by the late '90s, early 2000s, I don't think it particularly didn't age well. But I mean, it still has the same meaning. I mean, I'm sure like you can someone could still make like a music video out of this song if they wanted to today. But
I think kids would have to be humble enough to like bring themselves down a couple notches to know that you do experience these kind of emotions,
yeah,
where many of them have probably been groomed or wired or like to be tough and no feelings and I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I'm a tough guy,
hmm,
and Slick Rick, even from the beginning, like even when we heard this interlude on the show, like we've seen it, we've done it, we've been that, we need to move on. Like he's not gonna be bragging about anything hardcore or tough like that. But Teenage Love is, I'm gonna keep it frank with you. Like I, the first time I heard it was last week when I started listening to it. I had never heard that. I had never heard that song before.
All right, so I guess I'm ahead of you on some of the music.
Yeah, and yo, I'm gonna say it. I bumped it a lot because he brought up a lot of scenarios that young people go through
Hmm.
and experience when they're quote unquote in love at the time because you're new to the emotion or
Yeah,
feeling, I should say. I mean, in all honesty, love is more of an action than a feeling.
yeah,
Um, but you're young and you're thinking this is love, and and the sad part was like, dude, how many times did I see it like just amongst young people, like this brand new couple. You know, I've had
Yeah.
my kids when they date and everything like that when they're younger,
Mhm.
and they think they're on cloud nine, and one of
Yeah.
them is like one. It's like a one relationship. They're all into it, and then the other guy person thinks that they are, and they got bored. They're like,
Yeah, pretty
you know,
much.
they just moved on. Like, somebody else came along, or they just want to be with their friends more, and they throw themselves into that relationship so much because it's so new and fascinating and brand new. And it's like you're experiencing something brand new, and so it's just not the same for every teenager.
Yeah.
And and without saying too much more, dude, like just listen to that song, and he breaks down so many different types of levels of like what teenagers go through when they experience, and some of them may actually experience love or think that they are, and the outcomes of them all. And it's, I thought that was like, I
Yeah.
wonder what possessed him to make a song like that.
Yeah,
How
because the thing
old was he when
yeah,
he
because
created this?
he wasn't a teenager. I mean, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know.
I don't know his age
I
when
think
he
he
wrote
was,
this.
I wanna say, maybe early 2022, 23, maybe? I don't know. I mean,
I would assume the same thing
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Most hip
like
hop acts, they're like
yeah,
in their young mid to.
yeah,
I mean, LL Cool J was like, I could see him doing that song.
yeah,
He was
maybe
a
L
teenager
yeah,
at that
maybe
time.
L yeah, but yeah, Slick Rick's older than LL. I would say
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wanna say if he was yeah, if Slick Rick was born in the mid-60s, actually, I have his name right here. He was born in 65, so if you do the math yeah, about 22
75, 85. He's
yeah,
23 years
yeah,
old.
about 22, 23 years old, so
Well, it wouldn't make sense if he's making a song called "Hey Young World" too. He's obviously reaching out to the youth, children's story.
yeah,
I mean, not intentionally, but he knows they have an ear. I
yeah,
mean, because I'm pretty sure he's treat her like a prostitute and
yeah.
lick the balls aren't necessarily who he's trying to, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
then
especially some of the things in the one where he's taking over Michael's car, Knight Rider Kit or
oh, yeah.
whatever. Kit, what's the scoop? Tells Michael take a hike. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so teenagers, if you have a crush, listen to this song. It won't no one will think you're corny, at least not today, I don't think.
don't fake the funk, bro. Just let it hit the heart and just like, hey, see where you fit, and then how you could like learn to like not get to a point where like you get hurt, because that was another thing. That was
Yeah,
one of the main factors you talk about, like kids who get hurt.
yeah. I think it was a great choice for a single, I will say.
Yeah,
Now, the now probably his greatest song, probably one of the greatest songs in all of hip hop,
I love this song, man.
Children's Story.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Once upon a time, not long ago.
One thing I will say, the music video is hilarious. I don't know if you've seen it lately, but the
It
fact
has
that
been too long,
yeah, it
man.
was yeah, the music
I should have
video,
watched it. I
yeah,
should have
yeah,
watched it.
yeah, I saw the music video for it. It's just the fact that like he's telling a story, and it's just like you're watching it. Because sometimes, like when you watch music videos, like a song comes to life for you. At least if you know what I mean. At least for me, like it puts a song like live, like like when you watch a music video. So it's like you want to see like everything verbatim going on like in the story that he's telling, but it's just it's just cops running around and the whole black and white thing. And I told Netta this a while back, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of black and white videos, but
Yeah, I remember we
I
have that discussion too.
yeah, yeah. So I know like with the but I know, like, with the story being told, like, it goes to the black and white, and then, the cops just yeah, yeah, if you get a chance, watch that video.
I gotta, man, it's so vague to me. Like,
it's a
was
pretty
there like a
funny
little slow motion action in
yeah,
it? No, it's like an old school video, like
it it
movie, right?
it's like an old school,
Like a silent movie
it's
film
like a
kind of thing.
silent movie kinda
Yes,
thing,
I
and
remember. Yes,
it was just, like, the cops were just, like
like goofy, like
yeah,
straight up
goofy,
like
and then
duds,
it's just like he's saying, like, some of the stuff, like
like on some Charlie Chaplin stuff. That's
yeah,
what I
yeah, it's
remember
just
it.
like but it's like, no, that's not what that's not what I'm watching. I'm watching just these cops just trip over each other and yeah, pretty funny music video, but I mean,
I
uh,
like the little voices he would imitate on there,
yeah,
like the kids, or when he's talking to a female, like he would reenact those voices for those for those characters, and he would create
Or I need
songs.
bullets. Hurry up, run.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like he high pitched his voice. He did it for Mona Lisa too.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
rapped as the girl, like going back at him.
yeah.
Fun fact, dude. Because you were talking about the like how Montel Jordan kind of sampled the beat and a little bit of the rap.
Yeah.
Mos Def and Talib Kweli Black Star, they redid this song on their Black Star debut album,
Okay.
Children's Story. Mos Def does
Hmm.
the whole song. Talib is not really on it, but Mos Def just like basically takes word for word, revamps it like how Snoop Dogg did Lottie Dottie, but changes up a couple of the words to
Yeah.
fit it more for them in their time. So that's like this is a classic, dude. Children's Story is a major classic.
Yeah. No, Mob Deep sampled this in a song I heard a while back, like when I first got introduced to Mob Deep, I believe. They sampled the part. This ain't funny, so don't you dare
Don't
laugh. Just another case about the. I know they sampled that, and then I know Coolio sampled a portion of this in his song "County Line" also.
Yep, this ain't
So
funny, so don't
yeah,
you dare laugh.
so yeah, it's been sampled like all over the place, man.
Dude, there's a cat from Michigan, OC. His
Yeah.
name is OC.
Mhm.
Like, he was in that movie that super group digging in the crates with Fat Joe, Big L.
Okay.
Gosh, you lack the minerals and vitamins, something on the right. Like he in that song, he samples a short excerpt of Slick Rick from Hey Young World and
Mhm.
top something. Oh my gosh, I can't quite remember the exact lyrics, but I was like, man, that's a loop in a chorus for one of OC's songs that instrumental played in 8 Mile, like when
Okay.
Eminem choked up when he was about to battle.
Okay.
It's that beat,
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah,
it.
I remember that beat.
Yeah, that's OC,
Okay.
and the core and the hook to that song is a Slick Rick insert that just
Mm.
repeats and repeats. It's pretty tight. There's so many things that people pull from this album, but yeah, Children's Story is a great
Yeah.
jam. I
Excellent.
thought,
Excellent.
oh yeah, and I was like, I was trying to remember. I was Apple has the deluxe version,
Yeah.
and there was a demo version of it
Mhm.
that beats slightly the same, little different, and it was a story, but it was like Middle Eastern.
Okay.
Like everything switched up to like Middle Eastern culture. I kid you not, like the Sultan, like things like that, and it was a demo. Like I guess
Yeah.
you're just kind of playing with the idea. So and then the producers come in to get together, and then they perfect it. So um, that's an interesting here.
Mhm.
So if you get a chance, go check that one out.
All right, for sure, definitely. Definitely one last thing with Children's Story. Definitely just great storytelling song. It was the very first song I heard from Slick Rick that I could remember, unless it was the show. That'd be the only other one I could possibly think of. But that doesn't count because he was with Dougie Fresh in the Get Fresh group. But in terms
He's a
of,
standout, bro. If that was the case, because
yeah,
he, I can see why he got that solo deal, bro. Like
yeah,
you're too big to be in the crew like that under Dougie Fresh.
yeah, yeah. Nothing personal toward him, but yeah, he was definitely the most talented from that whole crew. Definitely.
It's funny how on this album
Mm,
he goes back and forth with MC Ricky D and
yeah,
Slick Rick to the point where like we just know him now as Slick Rick.
yeah.
Like that transition is pretty wild in this album.
All right, we're going with our top three now. Which ones are you going with?
I'm definitely gonna go with Hey Young World.
Hey Young World,
Definitely gonna go with Children's Story.
Children's Story,
And I like the it's either gonna be Kits What's the Scoop or Mona Lisa. Like
Mona
those that's like
Lisa.
a tie in the third one.
Okay, okay.
And it's funny, dude. I like the how he came off hard on the treat her like a prostitute.
Yeah,
Like
treat her
like
like a prostitute. That was a nice song to start off to. I mean,
I was like, he came out swinging on that one.
Yeah, yeah,
Exhibit ended up using that
yeah,
on
yeah,
deeply treat him like a prostitute. Like, so this guy has been referred to a lot, man. So
yeah, yeah.
uh, I'm gonna go
For
with those ones.
yeah, for me, I think "Children's Story" is the best song on this album. If you think otherwise, then I'm
No, I agree
sorry.
with you.
I'm sorry. Like,
Nah, I
yeah, that
agree.
has to
There's a
be that's what one of those songs. Like, you listen to this, yeah, yeah, that's and that has to be in your top three. Other two, I'm going with "Teenage Love," and then I know you thought it was kind of corny, but I really like the Ruler's Back. Yeah, the Ruler's Back.
yes.
One of the things I like from that one. Uh, yeah, you say the Ricky D part when he starts the second verse. Now, in times like these, at least to me, there's a lot of people out here trying to sound like Ricky D, not trying to cause trouble, but it's really a small thing. But they're biting at what I'm writing. God, it's the being the great, being the king. Yeah, so it's like, but they're biting what I'm writing. So I think he's saying right there, like he kind of predicted the future with that.
Yeah. He already knew that they were gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
um,
foreshadowing.
yeah, so that would be my third one. Mona Lisa was an honorable mention, and then another song I want to shout out as an honorable mention was "Lick the Balls."
that's like
Okay,
a send off song. That's a
yeah,
great.
it was a nice send off song, but uh, the first two lines here. Excuse me, I'm trying to earn a buck or two. A solemn rapper come in, and who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
You remember where? And who the fuck are you?
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, Rilla Doe. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one of
really
my
though.
favorite Ice Cube samples. Just I know
That
we
was
haven't
another
talked.
one that I picked up on.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
and
And who the
and who
fuck
the
are you?
fuck are you? Because I've always because I knew because when I listened to the song Really Doe, I always knew it was him. I just didn't know what song it was from until I listened to it. Like, oh, that's where he got that from. Like,
That's funny, dude.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember catching that one too. I
yeah, yeah.
remember
That
catching
was
that one
yeah,
too.
just so many samples. If you what's your favorite Slick Rick sample? Let us know in the comments. I'm just
That's
curious.
true.
Yeah, there's just so many out there. It doesn't even have to be this album. Just in general. Just
Generally speaking, but I have to probably go back and listen to the other ones, the other three that he came out with. But
yeah,
dude, there's a lot of like gems that were pulled from this one.
yeah. One thing.
Like the
Yeah.
Indian girl, Jay Z
Oh yeah,
did
Indian.
that one on Girls, Girls, Girls. Like he kind of
Oh yeah.
took a little from that one as well. So
Oh yeah. One thing I did forget to show at the beginning of the episode. I do have this one on vinyl. If you guys want to see it, let me pull it up
yeah, you
real
should
quick.
get that joint, dude.
Yeah.
Get that.
All right, folks. Sorry for the dead air, but yeah, here it is. Oh, okay.
Oh, you got the fruit punch pressing.
Yeah, yeah, the fruit punch one.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I meant to show it at the beginning of the episode.
Show the back. Show the back.
Oh yeah,
What's the back look
it's
like?
a
Oh, it's him.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's what's up, dude. I think that's like the two Slick Rick and Ricky D. I'm seeing we're seeing two of them in there.
Yeah, you don't have this one on vinyl or CD
I
or
wanna I wanna get the blue pressing
okay,
and
fair enough.
I messed up because that one was kind of available when they did like the I think 25-year anniversary of
Yeah,
it
yeah,
not too long ago,
it was a 25-year anniversary, and
and
I've
I
won.
slept on it.
Yeah,
I
I've
slept
won.
on it because I was determining if I was gonna get like the 2 LP blue pressing or like the deluxe one that was like $100. It
The
has
fruit punch one looks nice. I mean,
yeah, I saw that one. That one's still available, but
yeah,
I
you
just
can
like
still get that. I mean, that's the one I have. So
I might have to get that one if like because that two blue LP one is like some websites want $100 for it. I'm like, dang man, I
yeah,
might have to go for the fruit punch.
all right. So I figured I'd show that to you there. Um,
That's tight.
yeah, yeah. All right. So album cuts and expansions, the deluxe uh 30th anniversary edition. Pretty much, it wasn't too much. It was just some demos, for the
That's the
most
one
part.
I'm talking about. It's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
that. Listen to that one.
yeah, yeah. So it does have some demos. I did not get a chance to listen to it. I'll probably listen to the demos, a bit later. I'll let you know what I think off air. All right. recommendations, and like I said, I'm sure you're gonna have your own list too. Usually I do three, but it seems like since you've jumped on the show, I've been doing more and more recommendations. These shows we keep doing. So for this one, I tried to go with 1988 was already a monster year in hip hop, so I tried to go with just debuts. So
Uh,
I went with Big Daddy Kane's "Long Live the Kane,"
okay.
MC Light's "Light as a Rock." We did MC Light a while back. We didn't do that album, but me and Netta did uh her I forget which one, but the one in the mid '90s. Not at the top of my head right now. And then EPMD Strictly Business. We did that one back episode 44. And then NWA Straight Outta Compton, we did that episode 64. So those
Okay.
are the recommendations I came up with. 1988, like I said, big year for hip hop. What did you have any recommendations that you wanted to add?
Dude, it's just one of those like I would say like basically anything in 1988, like or because okay, so this is like a late 88
Yeah.
release.
It was late 88, like going on 89
Yes.
almost.
So you got to me as like L Cool J's Bigger and Deffer came out months after, even
Yeah.
though it's 87.
Yeah.
But you say you stuck to the debuts, man.
Yeah. I just, well, like I said, it was a monster year in hip hop. I mean, I guess I could have just
The
been
only
biased and
yeah,
went all Def Jam artists if I really wanted to, but
the only reason why I'm like going all over the place is because you really put that seed in my head when we started this, like how much came out like for hip hop at that time. Like, I mean, Too Short had he shortly came out after two with that
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we did that.
life is too
Yeah,
short.
we did that album. Yeah, and then Ice-T had an album in 1988. You know,
Eric B and Rakim,
yeah, they
they
had their
had that.
second album in 1988.
So it was
Oop.
like it was a great year. So I mean,
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, their second album came out in 1988. So
is that the he's the DJ and
yeah,
I'm the rapper?
yeah, we did that back episode. Let me look it up real quick. Episode 30, no, actually 25, 25.
Okay.
And then
So yeah, there you go, man. it's hard. Like
yeah, it was pretty hard. So I just like, you know what? This was his debut album. Let me just find some other artists that had a debut that year. That's to keep it fair, because otherwise it would have been
what
pretty biased, or I would have just went with a bunch of Def Jam artists that
what
dropped
a
that
time to
year.
be a fan of hip hop at that
Yeah,
time to know that all these different types of styles of artists are just dropping
yeah. Like I said,
all over.
'88 probably top five, top maybe even top three even year in all of hip hop if you're ranking them by the year. Because
That'd be a good one.
yeah,
What was like the dominant years? Because I would argue '96 was a hard one. That was
yeah.
'96.
Like I said, the top three.
Yeah,
I'd be biased because that's when I started listening to more hip hop. But if
right.
I'm looking at the history books, it's like
Yeah,
88 had a lot of shit, man. Like,
it did, man. I didn't. Yeah. Well, as soon as you opened up with that, my head went there. Like, dang, he's not lying.
no,
He's not lying, dude. I
yeah,
forgot about the EPMD joint. That
yeah,
wasn't
EPM,
88. That was the
yeah,
debut, Strictly Business.
yeah, that was a good one too. We did that
You
one,
got to
yeah.
chill.
And then that
A
MC,
lot of samples from that album
yeah,
too.
and then that MC Light record. I'm thinking we did "Bad as I Want to Be," and we did that back episode 35, which dropped in I think May of last year. So definitely check
Mm.
that out if you guys are interested in MC Light. Okay, so ready to put this episode to bed. Any final thoughts? Anyone?
Great.
Great album.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great album. Yeah, my final thoughts is a great album. It's definitely a recommendation to go hear. Um, it's really probably pulled the trigger for me to want to go like maybe dig a little deeper and try to go find that blue pressing that I really want. Because does the vinyl come with an insert inside, or like did it come with like sleeves that the records go into that are like
Yeah.
printed?
Um,
Oh, nice. Because Def Jam was pretty notorious
actually,
for that. They
actually,
didn't
let
give
me
you
look.
like a regular generic sleeve. They gave you like printing.
Let me see.
You know what I'm talking about? Like their
Yeah, I know what you're
sleeves.
talking about. The next Def Jam artist I think had an insert, but this one does not know. It's just regular, just sleeves, so nothing special.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I know.
that sucks. Yeah, they usually had like photograph sleeves. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Some of the other Def Jam records I have those, but yeah, not this one. So
oh,
yeah,
this was
if
okay.
But so yeah, if you want to hold out, I mean, I would suggest hold out. Anyway, for Ruthless 267, I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you all on the next one. Peace out. Later.
Peace.